Hello and welcome. My name is Chris and I'm excited to do this video because this is going to be part one of a video I'm going to do about purple ink. I'm going slightly crazy here with 10 ink samples and one bottle because as you can see I didn't hold off. I went ahead and got a bottle of this Herbin Amythyste de L'Oreal, and I just love this. But there's a whole story behind that, and I'll get to it. But I actually have 10 samples that I'm going to talk about. But this is only part one because I'm just not quite in there. I've got sidetracked several times, as I have heard from other people. So I started out with 8 samples, and then the little sample of this ink came in. And I just went completely nuts, used it all up. There's like not even a drop left in the little Goulet sample bottle. And I happened to be finishing a summer class that I took for 10 weeks that was really something to get through. And I almost didn't finish it, but I kind of got that bottled ink, this bottle here, as a reward for myself, as a non-food treat. So anyway, that's how I justified it. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. And then, okay, so I had 9, because I had 8 plus this one. And then I heard from a lot of people that Diamine, I have to relearn how to say this because I'm always saying it wrong. Diamine Imperial Purple was a good one. So that made 10. So as I started in this, what I know is that before I came into fountain pens, this was my favorite pen to write with. It's an Energel, or Pentel Energel liquid gel. It's a 0.7. And it has like a purple ink that's real pretty. This is a little sample swatch of what it looked like. And I still write with this some, but I have to admit I'm just not as interested anymore in anything that isn't a fountain pen. But this was kind of the color that I hoped to either match or come close to, because I already knew from all my writing and journaling that I could look at this purple a lot. In other words, I could write with it and not feel like, oh, I'm tired of looking at this color. And this is a needle tip, so it was extremely smooth. Actually, this pen's still very, very smooth, and the only other pens that come close are the fountain pens that I have that have smooth nibs. So that was another thing that I was kind of working on. So the first thing I did, and I did want to say too, I don't have what I consider a really good dip pen. I don't have a glass one yet, and I may not because there's something that I'm looking at that's better. But I do have this metal one, but I don't like it. It just makes a mess. So anyway, that's something that sort of held me back on doing more writing samples with each of these. But I'm going to link in to a video that talks about a dip pen that's just amazing that comes out of Australia, because I think it may interest some of you, my viewers. So that being said, that I don't really have a good dip pen yet, I'm having to decide what to do. I'm learning that I could take my Amythyste and I could, one by one, use that as my pen. It probably would be smart to use the same one if I'm really wanting to see how these come out. Right now at this stage, these 3 are what I consider my favorites out of this batch, and we'll go through the rest too. But the Diamine Imperial Purple, the Noodler's Purple, and then this darker but very shimmery that I bought the bottle of, so I kind of like put the cart before the horse, the Amethyst de L'Oreal. So those are those 3. And then I did want to mention that what I really like in a purple, personally, I like a very dark, deep color purple, but I don't particularly want it to look black. Now, I wrote with this ink in my journal, taking notes from a book that I was reading. It was called How to Be a Stoic. And I loved how this looked. At times it looked dark, but it has that shading, and it also I don't think you're going to be able to see that on here, but it had quite a shimmer too if I laid down enough ink. But this was a fine point Lamy that I was using. But I loved how it shaded. It shaded even like on the asterisks and things like that. So I'm completely in love with that ink, and I know it, but I probably will want to use this ink as a special. You know, and I think I'm going to want an everyday purple that I won't be afraid of. This is a little more expensive. This was $26 for the 50 milliliter, and it's the first of this type of ink that I've ever purchased. So another thing that I did, I tried to get it all onto, and I'm not sure if this will be able to be seen, but we'll try it. Okay, that's not too good. I did put all of these inks down on this notebook. This is a Clairefontaine notebook, so that I could kind of compare them. I am noticing that the camera's picking them up quite a bit darker than they appear to me. Like this looks totally black when I look through the camera, but to me it looks purple. So, but like I said, these are my two favorites so far. And then I noticed that I like the Monteverde Purple Rain, but it doesn't say purple quite the same to me as the darker ones. Even the Alexander Hamilton I like better, probably, for a writer. And that looks totally black on here. But in a minute I'll show you those cards. We'll just go through them one by one. That'll probably be. But this is my ink journal that I just showed you, and that really helps. So here is Noodler's Baystate Concord Grape. And that's another one that looked quite true to the color I was looking for. In fact, I kind of compared them side by side. It's not that I have to match that one, but I really, I know I like it. I used it so much. And then, okay, so then there's the DeAtramentis Aubergine. I love that. And I noticed how with the paintbrush I got quite a bit of variety and shading in there. I'm not sure how that'll turn out to be with a pen, but I'm going to find out. And then the DeAtramentis Alexander Hamilton is gorgeous. So many beautiful inks, you know. And then this Rohrer and Klingner Cassia, I like it. It's, as you noticed probably in the notebook, and on the Clairefontaine, it looked quite a bit darker. But this is probably typical of most of the writing paper that I use, except I just showed you that was a Leuchtturm. Oh, what is this was in my Leuchtturm 1917, the notes I took on that book. So that's pretty good quality paper, and it doesn't bleed through unless it's a really broad nib. Okay, then Diamine, Diamine, I'm trying to get this right, I really am, I learned it wrong. Diamine Amazing Amethyst is really pretty for painting with, in my opinion. It's a lot lighter than what I like to write with, and in fact it may be because my mother is visually impaired, and anything I write to her, I've kind of gotten used to. I need a darker ink. And like I said, I love the Monteverde Purple Rain. It's gorgeous. It's just not what I want in a purple writer. In fact, I think I had... Oh, you should see my desk. It's just a mess. I had one card that showed 3 different... Oh, okay. Here we go. And that doesn't really help much, but these were the 3 pens I used before here is the Papermate Ink Joy, and that's quite dark. I like it, but I always went for this one until they ran dry. I mean, I just, and that was frustrating because I didn't like it when when I had to go looking for another pen. I think the refills are almost the same price as the pen. The Pilot G2 wasn't my favorite because it just wasn't a smooth writer the way the Pentel and the Papermate were. But this is, I like this. It probably more for art though. I like to paint, and that might be... Okay, and last but not least, but I'm scared of this ink. This is the KWZ Iron Gall Gummiberry, and I'm just scared of the ink. I need to learn more about this. I'm afraid to put it in a pen because just things I've heard about Iron Gall hurting pens, and me, I'm not sure whether I'd catch it in time and realize how long it'd been in my pen. So I actually wonder if I might use my sample more for painting or just sketching, things like that. So those are the samples, and like I said, that's why this is only going to be part 1, because I need to write more with these, and I'm waiting for this dip pen that I have ordered that I think is going to really make that more possible for me. And I just love learning new things, and I watched a video from Brian Goulet about how you could use the Lamy. I need to watch it again though, as and just fill it but not go past a certain point so that your cleaning would be easier. And I guess I am looking for that ease of being able to just kind of rinse and start over. And yet I don't think I want one of the glass pens, glass dip pens. I'm not sure. Somebody should convince me if they have one and know what it's what it's like. So I guess that's it for this video. I'm thinking that that's it. It's just sort of like it's all out there. It's like a big mess. You know, I've got all my, I have these samples, and that's 10. I've got the 10 samples. I've practically dried up the the one that I now have the bottle for, thank goodness. And I'm having a lot of fun. But purple, I thought, was my favorite color. But I'm beginning to kind of wonder, in a way, now that I'm into fountain pens, because I've bought 3 bottled inks that are in the blue family, and I couldn't resist. And which I normally, I play around with the samples, and I don't really feel like I need to have that many bottles. But it's interesting. I got the Diamine. I'm trying to remember how to say that without saying it wrong. I got that in the Oxford blue, and then I got the Noodlers Navajo turquoise, and I got the oh my goodness, I'm having a total brain freeze about the other one. Oh, okay. Diamine Aqua Lagoon and Noodler's turquoise. Right. Okay. So anyway, I'm beginning to kind of think about, of course I saved the best for last in a way, the purples. So once I have written more with these pens, I will come on and do another video, and I'll try and when I get a chance, I will put all of these down so you will know what it was that you saw, and a link to where I found a dip pen that's sort of going to be my Christmas present to myself that I've ordered. But so have a great day, and if you like purple, let me know. I'm sure there's a lot more purples out there that I haven't even heard of yet. So just have an awesome weekend, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye now.